Okay, so for crown chakra. So some say that the light or the color is like a violet white or just all white. If you've ever seen some of those, sometimes they like a lightsaber. They have it's white, but then there's like a violet aura around it. You know. So this chakra has everything to do with our connection to the divine, universal consciousness, ability to trust life, faith and inspiration, selflessness, humanitarianism, values, ethics, courage, skin, muscular system. Your skin is your biggest organ in the body. Skeletal system, ability to see the larger pattern. The gland that it affects is the pituitary. The health effects, it can cause depression if the energy is not flowing adequately, energetic disorders, insanity, psychosis, cranial pressure, extreme sensitivities to light and sound, epilepsy, brain tumors, chronic exhaustion that isn't linked to a physical disorder. So if we're not getting enough energy here, we're going to be closed-minded, have rigid belief systems, cynical about spiritualism, and learning difficulties. If too much energy is here, we're addicted to spiritual practices, disconnection from spirit, and disassociation from the body. When balanced, we are open-minded, we have wisdom, enlightenment, mastery. Affirmation mantra would be, I honor all people, all religions, and all spiritual paths, for each leads to God. It's kind of like we're all going up the same mountain. It's just the ones that scream and cry that their way is the only way, you know. We're all walking each other home is another one. Seed sound is home. And the sacred truth is live in the present moment. They say, like, if you're living in the future, you're going to have anxiety. If you're living in the past, you're going to have depression. So it's like living in the present moment. And they say, present moment is where all the magic is. The stones, clear quartz, amethyst, labradorite, celestial light.
Last she's playing the paper.
The oils are frankincense, myrrh, lavender, helichrysum, and melissa.
So, for excessive energy, it says it's addicted to spiritual practices, but disconnection from spirit. Those seem to be like...
So, like people who are going to church a lot, but they're really not connected, this would be an example. Okay. You know, they're addicted to the practices, but they're not making the connection, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's like cultists, probably.
Could be, yeah. I mean, like, we all create our own reality, though, so if they feel connected to their God, even though it may not be a God, like, they're still going to have that feeling of, like, oh, I'm connected. Right? I don't know. I'm not, I don't know. I'm going to say I know. The spirit chakra, this is the spirit chakra. It tells us we are more than our physical bodies. The energy here gives us the ability to release our past experiences in order to not carry the dead with us, to bring things to closure and move on with our lives. So it's usually at the end of a catalyst, a trial, a tribulation, that we're like, we have like an aha moment and we're like, oh, finally, you know, that is when we have, you know, either activated our crown chakra or moved into that energy or flowed the energy, got energy flowing again. Sometimes we get stuck, you know. So, mountain pose is a good yoga pose. Rabbit. Rabbit pose looks like this.
I know.
What?
I love that one. I've never done that one.
I don't think I've ever Yeah,
I've done it. We're starting with the feet.
Right, start here, you grab the feet and then you inhale.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can really like pull into your feet.
Never tried that.
It feels like some good idea.
Oh, dang it. It's really written down. Just look at your notes. Headstand. Handstand. Child's pose. Shavasana. And any kind of meditation practice. Supportive foods would be water, purified or salt water, water absorbed through the skin, so like going swimming, or water absorbed through the top of the head or scalp, so when you wash your hair and take a shower. Good for it. They say that cleanses. Well, Rastafarians believe that your hair, that's why they always have the locks, that's what's called dreads anymore, the locks. That's why they have the locks and the long hair, because they believe that was their connection to like, almost like antenna, because it's connected to that crown chakra, like retrieving, downloading, getting information. But they say like washing, it actually is supposed to like cleanse the energy. Like if you're an overthinker, there could be some heat here, like cleansing the other way. Okay, sorry. Cleansing herbs, aloe vera. Various seeds like chia and sesame. Walnuts. Bone and vegetable broths. Essential oils, topical, for balance or unity. Number one blocker for the crown, attachment. Archetype. When balanced, the guru. When unbalanced, the egoist.
Wasn't that the last one?
Ajna should have been intuitive and intellectual.
I remember guru and something.
Yeah. So Ajna is intuitive, psychic, if it's balanced. If it's rajasic, it's egoist or manipulative.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
And tamasic is unaware, unable to see. That's for the ajna. But for the crown, the balanced sattvic energy is enlightened. The rajasic is egoist. So similar to the third eye, but third eye was egoist / manipulative. And then tamasic is separate. So the illusion of separation. The element is thought. The music is the sound of silence. Specifically that song.
There's also a song by a piece by John Cage called 4 minutes and 33 seconds, and it's 3 movements of like, absolute silence.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, so like every time it's performed, it's kind of different because, you know, the audience depending how big it is, they'll make sounds and stuff. But like, it's funny because when it's performed by the full orchestra, the conductor, they get up there and like some people like they actually get their bows ready and he just goes and just watches the watch. Okay, the first movement, you hear people shuffle around and kind of get situated and then they're like, oh, okay, next movement. It's just like silent. And, you know, shuffle around and do the movement and just one more at the very end, you know, and we're like, yeah! It's so weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, his philosophy was all sound, even the absence of sound, is music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's music. Your voice, sunshine, it's all music. Okay, so does anybody have any questions on the crown chakra?
The meat blocker attachment. Could you go deeper into that? Like, is that just like attachment and like, if you could be like attached to like something like
Attached to an
you're addicted
outcome.
to, or like a person or an outcome?
Yeah.
Could be any of those really.
Or just like the physical world. A clear sign that your crown chakra is blocked is a feeling of existential angst and nihilistic numbness, along with a feeling of disconnection between mind, body, and soul. This is the most elusive chakra of all, and thus the most difficult to open, which I disagree with that. I think that if your crown chakra was closed, you would die in 3 days. That's what I've been taught, which is saying it's difficult to open. So I would say slow moving energy, blocked, yes, but closed, no. Anyway, even once opened is the most difficult to keep open or to reopen. That's because this chakra deals with attachment in a deeply existential and ontological way. Our limited perception of our existence, our very essence, must be annihilated and replaced with a detachment that obliterates the ego. Again, I agree, I disagree with that too. Our feeling of finitude is smeared out into a heightened state of awareness of infinity. An unblocked crown chakra is a fountainhead of the infinite. So, I believe that you're supposed to not renounce your ego, not kill your ego. Everybody talks about the death of the ego is the way to go. I feel like the ego is there to keep you alive. It's a part of your survival mechanism, you know. Now, part of that, what we should be paying attention to is the shadow and the shadow work. And the shadow is usually parts of ourselves that have been renounced, repressed, oppressed by ourselves and by others. And so if it's like, let's say you love to dance and sing and your mother said, you cannot sing, you shouldn't dance, blah, 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 blah. So a shadow grows inside, whether that's resentment towards people who sing and dance, whether that's, you know, pain from your mother hurting you with her words, that whether that's, you know, fear that you can't sing and dance, always second, you know, like the shadow grows. And so then the shadow, the more the shadow grows, the more the shadow can then turn and rear its ugly head when you're put in those specific situations where someone's singing and dancing, or where you're being pushed to sing and dance, or where, you know what I mean? So, but people so often say, oh no, that's just your ego. They think that like, how can I explain this? I think that before we're evolving, we're growing, we're expanding, and so are our minds, our emotions, our feelings, and our knowledge, right? Back when it was very more simplistic, maybe, it was like, you're either perfect and divine, or it's your ego. It was so duality. And I think that, yes, duality is becoming more and more strong. stronger, but we're also becoming more multiverse, and I think we're also becoming more multidimensional. So you can't put everything in a white and black box, or so. Can I just say that was your ego? No, I think that the ego gets bad blame. But anyway, so sorry, I'm just disagreeing with everything I'm reading you to answer your question. Attachment to how things should play out, attachment to outcomes, attachment to what you think it should be versus, so like sometimes you might be doing your thing and you're like, this isn't how I wanted it to go. Like, this isn't working out. What the heck? And you're meeting a lot of resistance and maybe you're broke and you're struggling and your job sucks and your spouse leaves you or, it's just all like coming down. And it's really the universe or God consciousness or that your higher self or your soul saying, this is like, it's not how you thought it was going to be. If you can get through that, like it ends up being like way better. You meet someone way better than your ex, like they're just awesome. You get a job somewhere else and you have to move to a great city or, things just start falling into place. But like in the moment, we hang on to attachment of continuity. We want to keep the same spouse, we want to keep the same job because it's familiar, it's comfortable. The universe is like, no. And in those moments is when you're reminded on like really how big you really are and how big the world really is and how big your journey really is. Because sometimes we can get stuck and like, this is how my life is going to be. It's comfortable. I've got it all planned out, my 5-year, 10-year, 20-year plan, whatever. And the universe is like, no, you're bigger than that. So it's like we can get stuck in our ways and our ways of thinking and our ways of seeing things. And then sometimes we can get so stuck that we don't see the opportunities. We can cling to the toxic eggs instead of letting them go, seeing as they're being removed as a blessing.
I see.
Been there. Just kidding. No.
Essential oils.
Topical.
What does Melissa smell like? I've never heard of a Melissa's essential oil, and it feels
we
weird
can
saying that.
Google it because I'm not sure if it's a wood or a plant. They're all made from something, right?
It might be might be linden, because I think Melissa's the botanical name for it.
Yeah.
If that's what they're implying. Pretty sure.
It's steam distilled from the leaves and flowers of Melissa officinalis, an herb most commonly referred to as lemon balm, and sometimes as bee balm. Lemon
Why
balm.
don't I
is
just say
really
lemon balm?
Yeah, so it's probably gonna smell lemony.
Yeah.
I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Lemony, honey, like.
Just weird. It's just weird seeing essential oil Melissa.
I know, right? Where's Leica? Where's Michelle? Where's Dylan oil? Okay, so